All right. Hey there. Good morning, guys. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here with your Ben at 10 live streaming show for Southern Indiana, Metro Louisville, the Ohio Valley, and sometimes around the world. And hey, we are in our brand new location here this morning in uptown New Albany. We've moved a short distance from our old studios. So this is kind of our first test run. We've got a couple different cameras. I got this view and then I've got this view over here. I don't think that's maybe not my good side. I'm going to keep it on this view right here. But if we do have some folks that join us on the show, I've got an extra microphone over here. We can do a two shot from this location and then switch it back to this location right here. So here we go. Not working from home. It's been a while, so it's nice to get out of the house a little bit, and nice to have some sunshine across the area as well. So thanks for joining in. Hey, if this is your first time watching, we do a weather show for about 45 minutes, and we'll talk about, of course, all things weather. We've got weather jokes, we've got weather history, we've got a weather countdown. We look at the long range forecast. Thanks for hitting the like or share if you're tuning in, and thanks for watching, whether it's on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Peine, right there. Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. And thanks for subscribing to the YouTube page too. We'll get to some of your comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And we'll also take a look at some current conditions. We'll get your forecast right off the bat here as well, as we have a fairly kind of quiet second week of February. It might become a little more unsettled as we head toward the weekend, but looking at more rain chances thanks to a milder week ahead, and some snow melt should be in progress here this afternoon and tomorrow, especially with 40s and 50s on the way. So we've got a good morning from Beverly Hagist, no longer waving to you through the weather window 5000. We actually have a lot of windows here though. Christian Walker, good morning from Carmel, Indiana at 27 degrees. And we got a report from John Fox with lots of sunshine in the High View area, and a good morning there. Christian just on that second cup of coffee. I'm just on number one here. We're gonna have to break out Big Happy again here soon too. It's been a while since we've had Big Happy. Hey, the mic sounds good. The camera looks good. Might pop back and forth here a little bit. We got some new digs here in New Albany, Indiana. So loving it. And then we're going to have Extol Unfiltered at 9 a.m. on Mondays. Directly in front of me here is a brand new studio as well, we're excited about that. So thank you very much, Christian. Obviously, the cameras are, 4K, a lot better than the little camera I was using on my laptop when I was working from home. And Christian getting ready to get into that third cup of coffee. We got a Dennis Gregory with a happy sunny Monday from Bedford, Indiana. Getting that walk in at lunchtime. Good for you. Very nice. And let's take a look outside here. Let's get started with the show here this morning. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. And we'll take a live look outside with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. And nothing but blue skies out there. And again, we'll see a little more of this snow melting. Not sure how long it's going to take to melt off the ice in front of downtown Louisville, which has been pretty amazing. I think probably the most widespread sheet of ice the Ohio River's had since the late 70s, I would guess. But it is another beautiful start across the area here this morning. Let me get rid of that, and we'll pop up a look at the RadSat, the radar and satellite. I'll go ahead and pop this up full screen here for us. Again, some quiet conditions, a little bit cloudier for some areas off to the north, but a lot of us seeing a lot of sunshine across the region. As we expand out our view, pretty quiet conditions over much of the continental United States from coast to coast and border to border. We are going to get a little bit of a front that'll move in tomorrow and might give us a sprinkle or two. So we'll take a look at that as that moves in tomorrow. Out ahead of the front, though, we're going to have a southwest wind. And I think some areas in Kentucky especially will push into the 60s tomorrow, while much of Indiana will be a bit cooler in the 40s and 50s. So these temperatures over the next couple of days are going to fluctuate, are going to be kind of a range around the area. It's definitely going to be warmest in Kentucky tomorrow and actually the next couple of days. The farther southwest you get around the region, the warmer it is. So for you, Lily and Lasley, frequent viewer, everyday viewer in Grayson County, I believe that you will hit the 60s tomorrow. The farther northeast you go, and north, say North Vernon, Indiana, and Madison, Indiana, there's a temperature gradient. So it looks like it could be much cooler up that way, maybe even stuck in the 40s. So really going to depend on your location. Either way, we are above freezing. So that is the good news. So there's a look at some of the current conditions out there. Let me get to also a look at the current weather conditions here with extolmag.com/weather. We've got our live stream up here. I'm going to hit the refresh button on that. You can subscribe right there as well to the YouTube channel. Currently sitting at 24 degrees, so it has been a chilly start across the region. We've got all these different weather variables here for you. And thankfully the winds today, there's not going to be an extra wind chill. The winds are going to be just very light and variable for today. On the second red tab right here, it's got your daily forecast here over the next 7 days. And then we've got the forecast for today, hour by hour, which shows all sunshine. The brand new 7-day forecast that I've posted that does show just a 20% chance of maybe some sprinkles tomorrow. I think a lot of the day will be dry. And then there's going to be a higher chance of some light rain south of Interstate 64 for Tuesday. If you scroll on down, you've got national maps featuring watches and warnings, current Indiana weather and traffic with Indiana 511. We got you linked up there. U.S. drought monitor, and again, other watches and warnings. We've got this big gray interactive map, which if you zoom out on it or, zoom anywhere you want, you've got dozens of different weather layers that you can play around with. So this is the visible satellite, which still shows the snowpack and the rivers and everything like that. So it's kind of interesting to look at that. It's got your future cast. And if you click anywhere on this map, by the way, and then hit this little drop down, it's going to bring up, if you look at the bottom here, your hour by hour forecast that takes you all the way through the rest of the week. So very cool there, very detailed information. Then another interactive map, which has our current conditions and temperatures and any watches or warnings that might be popping up. So looking at upper 20s, low 30s now as the temperatures are starting to rise. And hey, it's going to feel a lot better out there today with sunshine, almost no wind, and also some warmer temperatures, getting maybe a little bit above average finally across the area for today. Okay, it is Monday, February the 9th. It is the Super Bowl hangover edition of Ben at 10. But I actually slept good. I'm feeling good and happy to be in the new studio here this morning in Uptown New Albany. Got some more comments popping in. We've got Dana Buckner from Greensburg, Kentucky. Good morning. I think you got a good shot at being well into the 60s tomorrow. And Orlean Whitlow, good morning to you. I like this little silver microphone too. All right. Orlean, looking good there in the new studio, 30 degrees in Hodgenville. Thanks for that temperature there. Steve Gibbons, looking good. Checking in from sunny Brandenburg. Thanks for tuning in. There's Lillian Lassie that I was talking about, 36 degrees. Christian, the weekend was pretty chill. Got to see my friends, some buddies in a band at Jack's in New Albany, and they were really talented, so that was fun Saturday night. And just, I don't know about you, I don't know. It's kind of a boring Super Bowl to me. I didn't really care about the teams, and I was kind of checked out. Not paying a whole lot of attention, but it's got to see a few of those new commercials, but I don't know. What in a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Carol Payne, let's get rid of all this white. My favorite color is green. My backyard has been just white for weeks, just like yours, I'm sure. So we are looking forward to finally seeing green. That would be nice as well. All right, getting some more comments here, and then we'll get to your forecast. Good morning to Eric Risotto from Charlestown, Indiana. Mike Whaley, nice, very nice. Not yet, Walker. We're still working on it. Hoping to get that done soon. And Emmanuel, also from Indianapolis, tuning in here this morning. Thank you guys for. And Tim Furnish is ready for spring. And hey, spring is right around the corner. I always bring up that countdown, and I remember it was like 90 days until spring. It seems so far out, and now it's getting closer, like a month away. And we'll get to that countdown here in just a second. So let me bring up to the stage here, look at what we're expecting with our weather headlines. for our February 9th. 40s and some sunshine out there today. There might be some areas in Kentucky that touch the 50-degree mark this afternoon, and then 50s tomorrow for much of the area. Now, it's going to be a little cooler north and northeast, and then a little warmer south and southwest. I do think there will be areas maybe around the western Kentucky Parkway tomorrow that are well into the 60s, and then some normal 40s for the rest of the week, Thursday through Sunday, and that means highs in the 40s. And because our normal highs are right around the mid 40s this time of the year. And then we'll have, it looks like an increasing chance of some rain. The Euro and the Canadian weather models giving us a pretty big looking storm over the area, over the region for Saturday and Sunday. But we'll kind of see how that shapes up over the next few days. The GFS is a little kind of an outlier with that system. Also trying to give us a little bit of a wintry mix on Friday, but it's like the only model trying to do that. So anyway, a little more active weather later this week. We'll take a look at that with some of the weather model data here in just a second. Judy saying good morning and ready for spring. And yes, the Seahawks with the W yesterday. If I had to pick a team, I'm happy the Seahawks won it. But yeah, kind of a boring game, in my opinion. But hey, here we go. All right, let me get rid of this. Add this guy back up here. Hey, we want to thank the folks that allow us to do what we do here, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling into your forecast. Clogbusters Plumbing Services, right in the middle of Kentucky. They got you covered throughout the Commonwealth. If you have any issues with plumbing, you can get hooked up right here at clogbusters.plumbing.com, 859-762-1214. Clearing the way, one flush at a time. There you go. Also, some new partners here right out of New Albany, Indiana, right down the road. Convenient location for many of us. Grant Line at Nursery and Garden Center. If you want to pop in there and see how busy they are, you can warm up to a toasty 80 degrees in their greenhouse, which I did a couple weeks ago. Got the largest plant selection in the area, certified horticulturist, voted best nursery in Floyd County. So there you go. And if you want to learn more about what they have to offer, 812-269-1271. Shout out to our partners here at Lyons Roofing, LYONS, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You can get free quotes here at lionsroofingco.com, or you can call now 812-294-3595. And also shout out to our partners here at Ivy Tech Community College. If you want to hop on and learn more, go to ivytech.edu, click on Sellersburg. You belong here, and there are dozens of 2-year certification programs that you can learn about. And tomorrow, of course, Tuesday, that's when I remind you, it's Tuesdays at the Tech, or you can register right here online, or you can just give them a call, and that's where you can get that one-on-one information, how to get started in your post-secondary education. Maybe the 2-year program turns into a 4-year program, but they are going to help you out 2 colleges at a time. They've got career development, how to get registered, how to pay, all that good stuff, and how to get started in general at Ivy Tech. Also, shout out to my buddy Michael Long here at American Family Insurance, amfam.com. Search Michael Long. It'll take you to his page right here, 812-578-3072. If you want to get a quote, tell him I sent you. A lot of different ways that you can save, like we have as well. So again, thanks to all of our partners out there. Starting to see a little more of the fossil beds here as we're getting a little more snow melt across the area. Erica is on board with my opinion that it was a boring game yesterday. Oh, and Beverly Haggis says, congratulations to the Lady Braves. Back-to-back sectional wins. The Borden Lady Braves. That's right, in basketball. So, yeah, very happy about that. Of course, they won state last year. And I think, Silver Creek, I believe, won sectionals too. Feel free to shout out any of our local teams that are making it on. All right, how much Orlean Whitlow, how much rain do you think we'll get? The ground is still frozen, so it might lead to some standing water. That is always an issue that we need to think about when we have snow melt and then we transition to a wetter weather pattern. Will we start to see, the rivers and the Ohio River starting to rise? No indications of flooding conditions at this point in time. We can handle this snow melt, but this weekend, if we get a decent amount of rain, that's going to prime the pump, so to speak, for muddier conditions. And then, of course, if we continue to get an unsettled weather pattern through this month, And it does look like we're on a milder trend for the rest of this month. And we've said it a lot. When it gets warmer, it gets wetter. So if that continues to happen, we'll have to watch out for it. Maybe some flooding concerns, which is kind of a common occurrence in late February and March around our area. Christian asking, is there any more snow in a few days, or we were done with snow? I don't see much in the future. The GFS was trying to give us a little bit of a wintry mix, but the other models were dry. And we got Perry Porter watching from YouTube this morning saying, good morning. Let's get the snow out of here. Yeah, I'm ready for the big snow melt. So hopefully, again, that will be happening very soon here for us. All right, let's get to the forecast. I'm sure that's why you're here. So again, 40s and sunshine today for most of the area. Most of the area in the 50s tomorrow. With that said, I do want to point out that areas northeast, let's say around, I don't know, Scottsburg, Seymour, North Vernon, Madison, might even be a bit cooler than that in the 40s. And then areas southwest, again, I mentioned Lilly and Lasley down in Litchfield, might be up well into the 60s. So a temperature gradient. We'll take a look at that with the maps here in just a second too. How many days until? Average highs in the 50s in 11 days on average. We should get there ahead of that tomorrow though. Our time change in 27 days. And that is March 8th. When we get closer to those 8 p.m. sunsets. Manuel, y'all are snow negative. Shame. I'm not snow negative. I'm just kind of tired of it. I want something different. It's been on the ground forever. I think this is I forget the stat, but the longest we've had snow pack on the ground in a long time. I forget, maybe like the third longest. I saw a stat online. I forgot about it. All right, Kathy Burnett, looking forward to some warmer weather. Yes, indeed. Spring begins in 38 days, so not too far out. Thunder over Louisville in 68 days. So we are getting there. Our weather history for today. Back in 1870, President Grant established the precursor to the National Weather Service, formalizing weather observation and reporting. So the beginning of the Weather Bureau that turned into the National Weather Service in 1870. And that's around 1872, I think, is when the period of record began for the Louisville National Weather Service observations out at Standiford Field. 1899, the Great Blizzard covered much of the United States east of the Rockies, and just a bad blizzard over much of the United States. Some very cold temperatures as well. 1933, Butte, Montana went down to 52 below zero, their all-time record low temperature. In 1947, the Saskatchewan blizzard. A train was buried in snowdrift over a half-mile long and 36 feet deep. I can't even imagine a 36-foot snowdrift. Hey, 2013, New England blizzard. Major blizzard dumped heavy snow, up to 40 inches there. Long Island had thunder snow. Hey, we had some thunder snow not too far long ago. And 77-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Last week we had some thunder snow. Our stupid weather jokes of the day, guaranteed to be stupid. And these are February related. I think we may have had this joke before, but we're going to do it again. Can February March? No, but April May. Do you have a date for Valentine's Day? Yes, February 14th. It's the date for Valentine's Day. It's also my son's birthday. Coming up this Saturday, I believe. What is the best month for coffee? February. All right, those are your stupid weather jokes of the day. All right, if you ever want to share any weather jokes, you can always email me, ben@extolmag.com. For today, sunshine, glorious sunshine out there. Not only the sun helping from the solar radiation to help melt the snow, but we got above freezing temperatures, shooting for a high up to 48 degrees. Might be a little cooler north, a little warmer south. That's kind of the trend over the next couple of days. And Orleans says, I know it's not been much over 2 weeks, but it seems like a month. I'm with you. The snow seems like it's been on the ground but we are almost to a point here, Orleans. So tomorrow should be the warmest temperatures we've seen in a month. And I'm used to looking at this camera on my computer. That's why I'm probably looking down all the time. I got to get used to looking back at a camera there. And hey, we got a camera over here as well. So we can shoot back and forth. So when I have some guests on, again, I mentioned this earlier, we got another microphone right here, and I can zoom out and we can do a 2-shot. So You might see some changes in the background. This is again, we're just getting started, just testing things out in the new Ben at 10 studio, but we also have another big studio out here in front of me that's going to be Extol Unfiltered, 9 a.m. on Mondays as we get fired back up on that show. So stay tuned. Fun things happening here. Beverly loving the jokes, and Orlean liking the jokes. Christian loves the history of the jokes. Appreciate that. And same with Lillian. Thank you very much. All right, let's move along back to the forecast here as we're cruising along on a Monday. Did I mention? Okay, yeah, warming up, mostly sunny, just a very light breeze today, very peaceful day, almost no wind out there. And our sunsets at 6:14. You're probably noticing those later sunsets, a little longer days, getting some earlier sunrises. And of course, that continues minute by minute until we hit the first day of summer, right around June 21st, our longest days of the year. David Kroom, hey, thanks for tuning in here this morning, David. 34, a low for tonight, so not as cold. We'll continue the snow melt, and there could be some patchy fog. So when we get a light south breeze, a little more moisture over the snow that we have, and pretty calm winds, and if we have a clear sky, we're starting to get some foggy ingredients. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some foggy spots tomorrow morning. So maybe needing to watch out a little bit for that as we get started on our Tuesday, February the 10th. And speaking of that, here's that forecast for tomorrow. If we don't see some fog, we may have a little sunshine in the morning, and then it gets cloudier throughout the day. There could be some sprinkles that develop. Again, we'll look at the weather model data here on that in just a second. But it looks like most of the rain chance tomorrow, a light rain chance, is going to be south of Interstate 64. And Christian, you know it. I am very ready for some warmer weather and really starting to want to get out and do some golfing and even some jogging. I'm kind of, I don't know, been a little too sedentary for my liking lately with this cold, snowy weather that we've had. So here's the 7-day forecast. So if you look at it overall, a lot of 40s and a couple 50s here. So it's definitely the warmest 7-day forecast we've had in weeks. All of the high temperatures are above freezing, so that's good. So that will continue to melt each day. A little bit chilly at nighttime. We've got some upper 20s, low 30s for much of the work week. And so Friday, I'm just giving a nod to the GFS weather model, showing a little bit of a wintry mix. Like it wouldn't cause really any impacts if we got that. Now, the Euro and the Canadian are mainly dry Friday, so we may end up taking that out if that trend continues, but the models are not in good agreement overall for this weekend. So 2 out of the 3 long-range main weather models that we look at, the Canadian and the Euro, are showing some really wet weather this weekend. And the GFS has it kind of weaker and off to the south. So if we believe 2 out of the 3, it could be a pretty wet weekend here for us. Kind of a chilly rain could be on the way. Richard Bakerson, warming up the golf swing. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna try to do a golf swing change this year. We'll see how that goes. It might be a disaster. And Leo saying, don't want a lot of rain. Remember thunder being canceled last year due to the high river levels. I remember that so well because we started, Leo, this show on April 2nd, 2025 with the former head of the National Weather Service, my buddy, John Gordon. And I think we had like 90,000 views, which is pretty great for the first ever edition of Ben at 10. Anyway, and that was right before the rivers went to near record levels and canceled thunder over Louisville because of that, right after that. So yeah, you're 100% right. We do not want that to happen again. All right, we are going to get cruising along here. I'm almost completely better from the nasty head cold that we were getting through last week. Still just a little remnants, so to speak. I'm just playing with the cameras. I'm kind of testing things out as we go. So we got new mics, we got new monitors. We're getting comfortable in the new digs here, the new studio. So, all right, let's get that out of there. We're going to bring this back up to the stage. Again, very quiet conditions over much of the United States. And let's kind of look ahead here. Let's go ahead and bring up the future radar. Future cast, you might call it. And here we go. Take a little sip of the coffee here this morning. All right, so we're all dry today, so I'm going to jump ahead to tomorrow as far as the weather model data here. And we're at 10:24, so we're actually a little bit behind schedule. Typically, I like to fire up the model data around 10:20. All right, so I'm going to go to, let's say, like 10 o'clock tomorrow. And this shows mainly dry conditions. Going to 11 o'clock. Is anything going to show up? This is showing like barely some sprinkles on the HRRR high-resolution rapid refresh weather model. It is a pretty dry solution. Okay, there we go. This is 5 p.m. tomorrow. I mean, if you look with your microscope, you may see just a little blip of green there. So kind of along and south of 71, 64, the Ohio River, in Kentucky, a little better chance of some light rain. Indiana looking drier with this solution. So this is tomorrow's a little bit of a rain chance. And then I'm going to pop up here the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. Now it shows a little bit better chance of some sprinkles here showing up late tomorrow morning and into the early afternoon. But again, very, very light stuff. I don't see much for you. As you can see, this is south of you here, Christian. Let me go back to the morning and see if there's anything. I mean, maybe a sprinkle in the early morning, but not a big deal with that. So this is kind of the wettest version, and even with it being the wetter version of the high-res models, it's still showing some very light stuff here tomorrow. This is at 11 a.m., and then as we go into the afternoon, again, your better chance overall some light rain, some sprinkles in Kentucky as this kind of weak front settles into the area. Now, as far as temperatures go, there's going to be a range in temperatures. Now, I think this is a little bit too much on the cool side. Let's see here. This is showing mostly 40s around the area and 50s off to the southwest. Let's bring up the HRRR weather model. This one's kind of a warmer solution. Notice well into the 60s, especially for areas along and south of the Bluegrass and Western Kentucky parkways. Zoom in a little bit closer here so you can see it. And then the farther north you get, so I like this solution right here just because I want it to be true. I think it will be. But you can see much of the areas in the 50s and 60s. So big time snow melt should be going on tomorrow. So this is your Tuesday afternoon. Christian, we'll get to Friday here in just a second for you. So loving those temperatures right there. And look at this. I mean, that is a warm bubble of air out down to the south where they are going to be enjoying some 70s from Tennessee and south. And there could be some areas tomorrow in Kentucky that approach 70 degrees. So we look here. Yeah, look at that. Near Bowling Green showing near 70 tomorrow. A little taste of early spring there, especially around the Cumberland Parkway and off to the southwestern sections of Kentucky. So warmer and warmer the farther south you get. Loving those temperatures right there for our Tuesday, February the 10th. Now I need to fire up the GFS weather model because we're going to try to look at the unsettled weather that will arrive possibly later this week. And so we'll fire up the GFS, and then we're going to look at the long-range outlook as well. And again, I'm trying to train myself not to look in the camera on the computer and look at the actual camera because I just haven't been used to that. We got a yay from Alice Young, and Eric is so excited for the warmer day. Hey, Orlean, I think I'm going to bet 60 degrees for you. You let me know for sure. Now, definitely for you in Hodgenville. I think down south, you're going to be able to get there. All right, here we go. Let's bring up the preset forecast for later this week. I've got the GFS fired up here. I'm going to bring up the reflectivity, and then I'm going to jump ahead. It looks like we're dry. A lot of sunshine Wednesday, mid-40s, a little cooler, 40s Thursday, Friday. I'm going to go to Friday the 3rd. Ooh, Friday the 13th. Spooky here for us. So let's back up our view. This is looking at Friday. It shows some light precip around the area here Friday morning. If we precip type this, it shows a little bit of a wintry mix on the north side here Friday at 10 a.m. I'm not sure I'm buying any of this because, again, the European weather model does not have this at all. And a lot of times the Euro is more correct than the GFS. So I'm going to try to will this to be dry instead of this little wintry mix. Vicky Berger, loving the forecast. Yes, indeed. So that is a little bit of a mix there, mostly just rain as temperatures are going to be well into the 40s, it looks like, on Friday. But that system on the GFS weather model shifting off to the south here. And this is starting to go into our Valentine's Day. This is the 14th. Notice the system developing off to our southwest and then starting to move in. Here's Valentine's afternoon. I will point out again that the other two weather models, the Canadian and the Euro, have this system farther north and over the entire area. So far, the GFS trending a little bit south with this system. Waiting on some data to load here. There we go. This is looking wetter and wetter here for Saturday and into Sunday. Looks like a pretty large system. We're going to be on the chilly side of it. So if we do get all this rain this weekend, this would be in the 40s and a chilly rain. All right, so we got that system Saturday, possibly into Sunday. If we add up the total precipitation, wherever this bullseye lands, could be a pretty good soaker. Look at that, showing parts of Kentucky in a 2 to 4 inch rainfall area, and then a sharp cutoff north. But again, I might not be buying this solution. This might be more widespread farther north. But that's not snow. That's rain. That's liquid. But 2 to 4 inches on melting snow this week, we might have to watch out for some standing water with that kind of setup. Let me see if I can bring up here, since I keep talking about the other weather models. Yeah, here. We can go to the old, let's see if it's, yeah, here. Next Generation Weather Lab. This is weather.cod.edu, College of DuPage. I've talked about this a lot before. I've used this for probably 25 years. Just a nice, sturdy, free, available website where you can go check out. Let me go back to the 0Z run and then, all right, so this is the European weather model here, guys. So let's look at this weekend. So that's a dry Friday, by the way, with the Euro. And then here we go into Valentine's Day. So the rain moving in, and look at that is not good. We do not want a soaker like that, but it could happen. So this has a low pressure system moving right over the top of the area. This is Saturday night going into Sunday, still raining on Sunday. If we add up the total amount of precipitation, this is showing about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. So that might be the solution that actually happens. That's a bunch of rain. And then this is the Canadian weather model, which shows the system moving right over the top of us as well for this weekend. So here's the system. That is Saturday night into Sunday, wettest for the European weather model and the Canadian weather model. And then we saw the GFS was much more south with this system. So we'll see what happens, but it could be pretty wet there with those two weather models. All right, let's get back to the maps. And I'm going to bring up the temperature map. And since we are now going to go on the long range, so when we do this, just keep your eyes on yellow and orange. if you want warmth. All right. And then we'll also keep our eyes on that. That's the Old Man Winter cold monster right there. Anything in that bluish green area is negative numbers. And the pink is very cold as well. So we're going to watch these air masses kind of fluctuate and see what happens here over the next couple of weeks. Let me get rid of that and that. And since we're looking at the long range, all right, so Perry, just wondering how far out to see 70. Well, we'll take a look at this, but if you're down in southwest, down towards Bowling Green, Kentucky tomorrow, I think that is a 70-degree chance tomorrow. That would be awesome. I don't see any winter storms here for us, Christian. A little too warm for that. All right, since we're looking at the long range, this will be been on a limb. All right, we're going to go out on a limb here, guys, and we're going to take a look at where we're going. So this is the 15th. I'm going to go here to the 16th, and it shows next week. Well, see if we can get the, there we go. All right, so it shows I've been seeing some warm-ups next week as well. So this week isn't warm enough for you. We have chances next week. This shows some 50s here on the 16th. So the 16th is Monday. And then the warmth, more warmth out west that you can see. And then the chilly weather off to the northeast. So that's Monday. I'm now going into Tuesday. Ooh-wee. Look at Tuesday. So if we can get this to happen, and I want to say that the GFS is not alone with this. Let's feast our eyes on this. That is well into the 60s. And sometimes the models this far out are kind of conservative with those numbers. So that would be some spring-like conditions on the 17th on Tuesday. And I do remember last week as we were looking at the long-range data, around the 17th, 18th, 19th, there was that second bigger warm-up. So if the models continue to do this, hallelujah. If you're tired of the snow, that is some good stuff right there. That is the warmth winning out. And the cold, you can see it's still up there, but it's way up there. So it's getting shunted to the north. And the warm air mass is winning out. Love that. All right. All right, going to the 18th. But the problem here is if we're kind of in the middle between cold north and warm south, we can be kind of on the storm highway, and that would be bad news because that would mean an unsettled weather pattern. This keeps us on the warm side on the 18th, in the 50s and 60s around the area. And so that would be next Wednesday. Now let's take a look at the precipitation, see if there's anything brewing around this time next week. So it looks like a system trying to move in. This is the 19th. So that would be next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday, late next week, showing a system here moving into the area. We can precipitation type this, and you see the snow way to the north and just rain here. So this looks like a milder weather pattern. Let me bring up the jet stream as well. And so we've got, a southwest flow. And this does get to be a busier pattern. You got this flow off the Pacific, and you got a flow coming in here from the southwest. That can be a stormy, wet weather pattern. And but a warm pattern. So that would, we have to watch out heading into kind of a floody type of pattern later this month if this happens. Let me look at the most unstable Cape. So this is now we're starting to talk about storm chances as well when we get into this pattern. That's the available energy for thunderstorms and strong thunderstorms off to our southwest. This is, again, next Thursday. See if any of this energy tries to get anywhere close to our area. So then you're looking at warming up, and maybe warm enough with a stormier weather pattern to have some thunderstorms. All right, let me get back to our temperature map here. And let me go back to the 19th. Look at that. Boom, we're on the warm side of these storms. And a big reason is the orientation or the location of the jet stream tracking a little farther north. So we're on the warm side more than the cold side, it looks like next week. And this is showing a lot of 60 potential around the region. And then a cold front is trying to move through on the 20th. And then that's the pink that you don't want if you don't want the cold weather back into the region. So let's go to the 21st. Looks like some chillier weather could punch in behind. That shows some highs in the 30s there around the 21st after a warm week next week. And then now we're going into there you can see kind of a nation divided here. Warm south, cold north. We're riding it right in the middle on the cool side. And a big reason for this, again, is the orientation of the jet stream, which I'm guessing is kind of a flat flow over the United States. A little bit wiggly, but coming in from the west and just kind of flat right there. So that's the divider, keeping the cold north and the warmth to the south. All right, let's bring back up the temperature map as we write out the rest of the GFS weather model into the 23rd. Again, on the chilly side, but not extreme. Probably kind of normal February-ish weather. Here's the 24th. Again, the warm air being pushed to the south. And then that's as far out as the GFS weather model goes. Let's bring up the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook, which I'm guessing is going to favor warmer than normal conditions. Look at that. Boom. Boom again. So there we go. We are in the above normal temperature zone here through the 10-day outlook. Possibly getting above normal today, well into the 40s, and then well above normal tomorrow in the 50s for much of the area, 60s off to the south over much of Kentucky. Then we level off near normal for the rest of the week in the 40s. But then next week, looking at a run of some warmer conditions. And then I'll bring up the 8 to 14-day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. And there we go again. So we are looking at the jet stream riding to the north and a nice warmer spring-like air mass winning out, it looks like, for much of next week. So we should have very little snow on the ground. There's a huge pile of snow, though, right outside our front door here off Market Street in New Albany. And we'll be seeing how long that guy lasts. Maybe we'll have to name that snow pile and see how long Frosty the Snow Pile will last, because it's feet in height. So it might take a little while for those to go away. I had fun last year with that too, seeing how long the snow piles would last. All right, so there you go. We'd love to see the orange colors here on the long range maps. And since we looked that far out, that has been good old Ben on a Limb segment. All right, and we're going to recap your forecast. And then that'll do it for a Monday, February the 9th, in the new studios here. And let me check in some comments while I've been yapping away. Let me get rid of that map. Bring this one back up. And a reminder, too, anytime you want, you can email me if you have any questions, ben@extolmag.com or jason@extolmag.com if you want to learn about some advertising and marketing solutions right here. We've had like 4.2 million views over the last 28 days on my page alone. That doesn't include Extol Weather and Extol Media. So again, if you know an organization or business that wants some help with the marketing, we're here for you. Or you can just ask me, again, a weather question right there as well. All right. We have some comments. We got Lillian Lasley. Yay for a warmer day. I am feeling better, Christian. Thank you very much. We got a yay here from Mary Jane Wilson. I'm thinking the yays are for all those orange colors we saw on the maps. Perry, hee-haw, happy days are here again. And Lillian Lasley, have an awesome sunny day. You as well. And Lillian, we're going to be jealous of you. You're kind of in the warmest area of the region over the next couple of days. The chilliest around the region would be up towards like North Vernon, Indiana. Madison, Indiana might be a little bit on the cooler side as well. Laura DeVore saying, oh, it looks good. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, indeed. Leo, early grass cutting. I don't know. We might, rest of February looking a little bit warmer at least. And Christian, hey, thanks for saying that as well. Subscribe on our page on YouTube, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Media, Extol Weather. And enjoy this beautiful afternoon. Yes, if we do get into a more active weather pattern, that's a good point, Orlean. When we get these sunny days, get out there and enjoy, soak up some of that blue sky because it might be a lot of cloud cover as well. All right, let's get to the forecast recap here. So some 40s and sunshine out there today. Let the melt begin. 50s for tomorrow over much of the region, although I think we'll see a lot of 60s in Kentucky, especially when you get down south of the parkways. And we might pick up a few sprinkles, a couple light rain showers tomorrow. It looks a little bit wetter over Kentucky than Indiana. Not a big deal with that, as kind of a weak front moves into the area. And then normal 40s for highs for the rest of this week, but all of our days are above freezing for the first time in a long time. And tomorrow looks like our warmest temperature since around January 14th, I think, almost a month ago. And then looks like an increasing chance of some rain this weekend. Our countdown, average highs in the 50s in 11 days. That's February 20th. Time change March 8th. Setting those clocks forward an hour and losing an hour of sleep, but getting those later sunsets. Spring begins in about 38 days. March 20th, the vernal equinox and thunder over Louisville in about 68 days. I think that's April 18th. National Weather Service, or the precursor to the National Weather Service, which was the Weather Bureau before the NWS, was started by President Grant in 1870. A lot more weather history I will put up at noon on Facebook as well on my page. Our stupid weather jokes of the day. Can February, March? No, but April, May. Do you have a date for Valentine's Day? Yes, February 14th. What is the best month for coffee? February. That's right. A lot of coffee lovers on this show. Laura's going to sit on the porch. I like it. Christian saying, stay warm, guys. We're getting warmer and warmer. I'm finally shutting off the wood stove. I'm going to let the wood stove have a break this week and just enjoy the regular old heat pump that we have in our house. It's been weeks of putting wood in that wood stove, giving me a break as well. And my son Brady helps me stack the wood on occasion as well. Hey, Laura, thanks for liking the jokes. Enjoy that sunshine out there today that we've been talking about. Just a very light breeze, very peaceful Monday, February 9th. And our low tonight, 34 degrees. Not as cold, some patchy fog possible. Do have some foggy ingredients. We'll kind of have to see if that develops. Wouldn't be totally surprised if we see some dense fog advisories tomorrow morning. It's kind of conditional, meaning it could happen. We'll see. But not as cold, 34 degrees. Our low temperature. Hey, Christian, thanks for being a part of the show this morning. We appreciate you. You have a great one as well. And then our forecast tomorrow, it gets cloudier for our Tuesday, but hey, we're on the mild side in the 50s. Southwest winds pumping in some of that milder air, and we'll have a chance for some sprinkles, a few light rain showers, wetter to the south of Interstate 64. In general, I don't think we'll see much rain. And then our 7-day forecast, we're dry and just kind of normal chilly in the 40s Wednesday and Thursday with some sunshine. Now, again, as we saw on the longer range data, the GFS was trying to show a little bit of a light mix Friday. The other models are dry. So I would lean towards drier Friday than wetter. We'll just see how that evolves over the next couple of days. And then Saturday and Sunday look pretty wet right now. I think the GFS will start to lift farther north and match up with the Euro and the Canadian weather models, which show just a bunch of soggy conditions over our area, especially late Saturday and into early Sunday. So getting into that soggier time of year as we're seeing less snow and more rain chances, more warmer conditions as well. All right, let's take another live look outside, and then we'll start to wrap up the show here on a Monday. Everything going good from the new studio. Thanks for liking or sharing, by the way. Appreciate that, helping the show go a long way. This is the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera, and it's showing nothing but blue skies out there. Beautiful. And I want to remind you, you can get your 24-hour a day, 7 days a week, weather source 24/7 here at extolmag.com/weather. Now up to 30 degrees, probably even warmer than that though. I think these temperatures are taking about twice an hour. Almost no wind out there, so no wind chill. And there's the brand new 7-day forecast that I've got posted up there for you. And of course, a lot of other weather maps that you can play around with. My favorite here is this guy, which shows dozens of different weather layers. Let me bring up the winds here for today. And not only like around our area with this, but take a look. You can go global and take a look at the winds across the world. Where you see them swirling, that's a storm. There's a storm off Alaska. But we have very quiet winds over much of the United States. And let me click off that right there. There's the satellite view, which this satellite view is showing still the snowpack. That's not actually cloud cover. So kind of cool to check that out. All right, there we go. Hey, one more time, I want to thank our partners here that will allow us to do what we do on Ben at 10. Clog Busters with a Z, plumbing services. They got you covered throughout the Commonwealth. They've got an area that you can connect right away on the right side, or you can call them 859-762-1214. So give them a shot to clearing the way one flush at a time. The plumber you want to call, there you go. It is Clog Busters with a Z, serving the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Also, right up the road here, Grantline Nursery and Garden Center. We are getting excited for these warmer temperatures. It's warm in the greenhouse there. I was amazed to learn how much work they do this time of the year. I mean, they have these potting machines, and then they stick these little flowers in there. And then over the next couple of months, they are just nurturing them in the nursery and getting them growing and ready for you a little bit later in the year. But if you want to get started with some tropical plants or whatever, they've got their indoor area and a lot of plants, the largest plant selection in the area. 812-269-1271 is Grantline Nursery and Garden Center right there on Grantline Road. Our friends here at Lyons Roofing, Lyons, they're right out of Memphis, Indiana. If you have any issues with your roof or your guttering, or maybe you're building a new house and you need a new roof, you can call them at 812-294-3595 and connect, or you can connect online and get free quotes as well. They personally helped our family, and Ivy Tech personally has helped our family as well. My daughter got a ton of credits, like over 40 college credits in high school, and my son is getting the college credits. So if you're in high school, definitely take advantage of that. But they're going to meet you wherever you're at. If you want a career change like I've had here over the last year, they might be able to help you with the 2-year certification programs, and they will answer your questions on how to get started, registered, how to pay for it all. And you can sign up for more detailed information, one-on-one there with their faculty members, and get a tour with Tuesdays at the Tech. And you can do that right here and get one-on-one help. And here's my buddy Michael Long, proud to be an American Star Certified Agency, Excellence in Customer Experience. Looking forward to his 2-Tip Tuesday tomorrow. So I'm going to be looking out for that. If you want to get a quote, hey, tell him I sent you. 812-578-3072, amfam.com. Search Michael Long. You'll find his page right there. Since we're just yapping away, we also, it's not this week, but next week, Wednesdays with Weddington, local custom home builder, Brad Weddington. If you're ready to go, your journey begins here for your dream home. He can make it happen here in Southern Indiana. Also want to thank our partners here at Libs Paving, the top asphalt paving contractor around. I want to mention them because in the upper right-hand corner, they're very busy throughout the year, and they might want your help. If you want a career, or you know somebody that needs an opportunity, family or friend or neighbor, here you go. There's available opportunities right here at Libs. It's Libs with a B, benpaving.com, and you can just fill out those forms online. There you go. All right. A beautiful Monday out there. Loving it. All right, that's been the show here as we've been talking for 54 minutes on a pretty quiet Monday. But hey, we're testing out the new cameras. We got the 4K HD out in front of me right here. We got, boom, I can switch over to this camera, and then I can do this. I think this is camera number 2. And then we can widen out the camera view. And if I get a guest, I've got this microphone right here. Anybody want to be a guest on the show? You can sit right here with me. We'll chit chat. And so this is camera number 2. I love the brick behind me too. I love the setting. So that's this camera. And then I can just cut right here. Boom, back to this camera. Might need some Bennett 10 signage over here. What do you think? All right. This is my new studio for Bennett 10. Loving it. And then right out in front of my door here with the window is the new Extol Unfiltered Studios. It's going to be 9 a.m. on Mondays with Angie Fenton here out of Extol Media. So we've got some new studios here, and they are busy downstairs right now. We're putting things on the wall. We're cleaning. We've been moving the last few weeks. It's been busy start to 2026. So looking forward to that. And so, all right. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in here. Again, if you ever want to reach out to me, Ben at extolmag.com. And extolmag.com/weather is where you can get a lot of weather information as well. All right. Vicky, loving the brick here behind me too. Thank you very much. As it's going to be warmer, I'm going outside. I'm going to try to get a jog in with this nice warm weather. Yes, indeed. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in here this morning on Ben at 10 on this February 9th. It's 10:56. I feel like I just keep talking, but it was a good test run here in the new studio here out of Uptown, New Albany. Meredith Peine, my sister. What's that little statue in the background? That's an Emmy that I won in the broadcasting business. Laura said, I missed the doggies. I think I'm still going to do live Friday mornings from home. I like the Friday mornings from home. And Laura, thanks for the congrats there on the new studio as well. So loving it. And, if we ever have severe weather, I might end up having like the severe weather radar on back here and some different information. Again, we might be mixing things up. If you have any ideas on what you want to see behind me, let me know. Maybe a picture of my dogs. As Laura said, I missed the doggies. Might have to put a picture up of the dogs. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. Same place, same time tomorrow morning. It's been at 10 on our February 10th. We'll see you then. Have a great one. Enjoy that sunshine.